morning to everyone. Let me introduce myself. I'm Daniele Gabriol. I work at the Italian National Institute for Astrophysics, and I'm based in Torino, Turin, which is in northwestern part of Italy. And I will present you some news from our recently born Prisma fireball network, Italian fireball network. The original idea was, in fact, because we have a very limited funding, was to extend the Frippon network in Italy, in northwestern Italy. And so a couple of years ago, we mounted a Frippon camera in our observatory near Torino. But very soon, a lot of people in Italy asked us to join the network. So it was the beginning of a real Italian network. So that after 2 years, this is more or less the situation. We have Frippon cameras spread, let's say, all over Italy. You may see mainly in the northern part of Italy. And basically, once or twice a week, there is somebody calling me, sending me an email, and asking me to join the network. So we should be able, in a reasonable amount of time, to cover the whole country. Actually, up to now, we have currently we have 27, roughly 45 cameras, which are 27 already operative. 13 are being installed, and other ones are being acquired. This is just to give a picture of all the institutions that are currently involved in the project. We have several. The National Institute for Astrophysics is a recent institute, but it collects the heritage of the historic astronomical observatories of Italy. So it's spread all over Italy. And you see in green, all these in green are my observatories of my institute. But we also have a university, mainly physics and mathematics department. We have, of course, also other observatories, regional observatories, private observatories, planetaria, and, of course, associations of amateur astronomers, and also several schools, mainly secondary schools, because we have there is a real interest of schools in this subject, the subject of meteor and meteorites, because it's something that
Right, thank you. So I'm Adrian from the Desert Fireball Network. So there's 3 of us currently here at IMC. Ellie, who talked yesterday, more about science stuff. We've got Stuart at the back there, who's presenting his radiometer. And what I'm going to talk about here today is mostly going to be about hardware involved in building over the last few years and where we're going. So it's not really my work, mostly work on science. It's mostly the work of Robert Howie and Ben Hartig here. Like 2 awesome engineers who are like building awesome stuff for us in the lab. You can ask them, I need this thing like next week, they'll give you a prototype. Next thing you ask them is, I need 10 of them next week, and they'll do it as well. So, great guys. So the way I'm going to present this talk is actually start from what I said, like future work 2 years ago, last time I was at IMC. So first thing I said we're going to do is find more meteorites. So let's start with that. Ellie talked to about yesterday, found Delmodel meteorites, which is kind of interesting composition. So linking that with the orbit is interesting. Only after 8 hours of searching and 6 days on the ground. So it hasn't rained on it, which is great. It's the first time we managed that in Australia. And that's been published in the recent papers. You can go see that one if you're interested. So beach rights, check. Data pipeline and automation, Ellis talked about that, so I'm not going to go into details on the data pipeline side of things. What I'm going to talk mostly about is network expansion. So, like in the last 2 years, we've partnered up with 13 different institutions in, 14, including us, in 6 different countries. So in those institutions, you got Peter Jenskens from SETI, that's here at IMC. You also got Dennis Ida from University of Western Ontario. And the goal was basically to send them cameras so we can build a global firewall observatory. Because fireballs are rare, each try dropping fireballs are even rarer. If you want to get a decent number of them, as Peter explained 2 days ago, we need to team up and cover a large fraction of the Earth. So that's a map of where those institutions are located, and you can see being of the networks, that's ours. We got triangulation in Morocco, triangulation in the UK, California. I didn't map it there, but we also got triangulation in multi-station covering area in Alberta and Canada as well. And yeah, we only cover 2% of the Earth, so our current network is about 0.6%, and I believe we can get there by 2020. So how do we do that? What sort of hardware have we used to do that? So that's kind of where we started, using European network hardware, 4 of them in Australia, so they were design was adapted to survive the Australian conditions. So as you see, it requires a pretty big power system, and the camera itself is quite big because it's got lots of moving parts to handle films. Because at that time, that was the only credible option for operating out there and getting the decent astrometric precision on the firewalls. So we kind of started like that. We wanted to get the same astrometric precision as the film systems, but thanks to advances in digital camera technology, we managed to make it a lot smaller. So the camera sitting at the top there, you only got 2 solar panels, and that whole system takes about 4 hours to 2 people to install. So compared to about a week the previous image. Hardware we developed about 4 years ago. So as I mentioned, digital camera, full frame, 36 megapixel camera with a fisheye lens on top. Got a video camera, here's a Wojtek in parallel, also AllSky. And then, so PC, so far so good. Industrial PC, so that lets you, that gives you interesting features like a watchdog. So if the PC freezes for some reason, it's going to get restarted by hardware. So that makes it a lot more reliable. Hard drives here, 2 hard drive bays. PCBs to turn, turn things on and off. It's useful for saving power when you're solid power. And keeping things cool. You don't want to unnecessary hard drives spinning in the box if they're not required at that time. So when we were first thinking about the global firewall networks, well, we have to make this thing smaller, a little bit smaller, and a bit cheaper as well. So we basically stripped down everything that we could in there, got rid of the video camera, kept the main imaging system, still imaging system, and stripped down as many things as possible and ended up with that. So, I mean, that gives you the same data as the previous one. Problem is, in the process of doing that, we made it a little bit more unreliable. And I need to give a big shout out to one of Peter's collaborators, Jim Albers, for actually sorting out a lot of early problems we have with these systems. So problems we had, because all the things we got rid of, we weren't able to do a cold reboot. We didn't have as many relays to things on and off. Because everything was crammed to one box and weren't turning things on and off. We were actually having temperature problems. So mostly in Australia when we get 40, 45 degrees in the summer. We also had some interference issues between GPS, USB, Wi-Fi, and we only had 1 hard drive. So at that time we thought we were going to have access to maybe 15 terabytes quite quickly, but it turns out hard drive technology is reaching its limits. So that wasn't that wasn't great. The cameras are working, but we're like slowly phasing them out to a new system. So the new system, we started from the good old thing we've been using in Australia, and just like made improvements of it. So that's the new system. As you can see, it's got one extra hard drive. One of the most notable features is we replaced the video camera with I would change it from analog to digital. So I'm going to come back to that later. Got a new PCB and other things. So the main thing is, if you want to build like hundreds of cameras and ship them across the world, is you got to like think about productions. Like you can't just take. Our original aim was to just do like off-the-shelf everything, but it turns out it's not always possible, especially for cabling, which is interesting. So yeah, we want to be able to do more laser cutting in the box and more 3D printing as well. So that's what we got from cabling. So if you remember that one, it's a bit messy, the cables, using like off-the-shelf cables, not always the right length, and as you service it, it gets a bit messy. So yeah, doing those kind of like outsourcing some of the cable making to China, also making some cables ourselves, which I think is the biggest point that's made the camera more reliable. So yeah, in terms of reliability, so more hard drive space, we don't need to service it as often, currently on 18 months. So hard drive space, 30 terabytes, 18 months, but that's also lifetime with a shutter, so that works out pretty well. We actually got lower power usage on the new system. We're able to monitor the voltage that's coming out of the battery, at least for the Australian system, so we can remotely diagnose like power issues. You've got a battery that's dying or solar panels, hit by a kangaroo or something. And last thing is we've actually tested our camera to those temperatures, minus 30 degrees to 55. They can probably go further than that, but that's what we've tested them on, so it's looking pretty good. So in Canada, we actually add a heating element around the lens to keep the snow and ice off. So just to give you an idea of like how PCBs are like evolved over the years. Something that looks kind of like a Soviet-era Russian spacecraft PCB to something a little better and to modern, good-looking PCB today. Last improvements is features. So I'm going to come back to the digital video camera stuff. We added 2 external ports, one USB, one Ethernet, so we don't have to cut a hole through the box to if we need one. We don't generally need one, but that's going to be great to add add-on instruments to the USB port, and I'm going to come back to. And last thing with communications is we didn't used to put Wi-Fi card, 3G modems by default in the box, but we've now completely integrated that, and they all ship out by default with those features. Just a quick summary of the observatories. So same special precision as the old Phil Simpson, significantly cheaper. Ellie mentioned the absolute timing precision, and we talked about the servicing lifetime. So video camera, I'm really excited about that one. As you know, for example, the Fripong guys are operating video cameras, and we kind of think that's the future. So that's the reason for including the video camera. We're not at a point yet where we want to get rid of the still imaging system. That's more costly, but I think eventually we're going to get there. So nice thing about switching from analog to digital is we got a high bit depth. Potentially, that was not really one we currently got in there. It's not currently super fast, but you can easily get some very cheap cameras that do like almost 200 frames per second. So that's interesting. Monochrome sensor, which is a bit nicer than our RGB sensor, global shutter. So software we're currently running on them is Feature. So Pete had concerns about Feature. It's not off the shelf, but it's great software. It's great code base. So if you want, it's great base to build from, and that's what we're doing. We're just creating a driver for my camera, and from a code base perspective, that was really easy. Cool thing with Feature is that it can do night and day operation. So that's thanks to the digital video camera that lets you easily switch exposure times and gain and all that stuff. That wasn't that easy on the analog systems. The other cool things, we can do long exposures for calibrations. Pete mentioned that. Get lots of stars for gradiometry. Something we're going to add is GPS triggering, because we like to time everything. And those cameras can be precisely triggered. So you can just basically ask your camera to take a frame at whatever time you want, and kind of hoping to converge to the same kind of timing precision as our still systems. So yeah, pixel size 10 arc minutes per pixel compared to 2 arc minutes per pixel on the still images. That's more kind of like a test. As I said, that's not going to replace, at least probably not in the next 2 years, our main still imaging system. But yeah, so digital cameras let us get more pixels, which is what we need if you're going to put like a Northsky lens in front of it. So yeah, I want to say, yeah, video cameras have a bright future, and we think that they're going to phase out still systems for final observation probably by 2020. Nowadays, you can get, that's still quite expensive, you can get like a 48 megapixel video camera, it's full frame, and they'll do 30 FPS. You can, like video cameras nowadays will also have like beautiful features like automated like HDR. So like typically the way it works is you'll take a very short exposure and like a kind of like normal exposure that corresponds to frame rate, giving you like a high dynamic range. That's very important for firewalls, because one of the big problems we have with observing firewalls is the dynamic range problem. Silicon typically gives you about maybe 8 cell magnitudes of dynamic range, but each time dropping firewalls, you want to be able to observe them from the very top, so again the magnitude 0 before the atmosphere like slows them down too much and affects the orbit. But they also easy to get to minus 15 to minus 20 for meteorite droppers when they fragment. So doing HDR is a great thing. So the thing you might be wondering about is how do you process that sort of sensor? That's crazy. So cool thing that's going on with GPUs is you're starting to get basically single board computer that work around the GPU. GPU is not an added card, it is part of the system. So you've got that the tiny CPU for like housekeeping, and then you can just feed your video stream straight into the GPU that does the processing, and yeah, you put like real power. So yeah, processing those sort of sensors, that's not going to be using a typical computer. It's probably going to be using some system is going to be similar to this. Yeah, quick summary on the cameras we actually got deployed out there. Did expand the Australian one too much, but yeah, made some progress on the other ones, and hoping next few months we'll have double station triangulation in most of those areas. And we're building a lot more. That's our lab that's getting completely crammed with cameras. We're mass producing these things. Last thing about hardware, I want to point you to Stuart, who's building a radiometer. As I said, on the new cameras, we've got this USB outside interface, and you can just plug in additional instruments like the radiometer. So that's still a prototype. We plan to put it to make it completely open source, so you can build it and probably send you samples. Once we manage to stabilize the design, then we're happy with it. So yeah, I encourage you to go see Stuart during the poster session, so he can talk to you about the radiometer we're developing. So yeah, so that's it for network expansion and hardware. Last thing I want to talk about is said we're going to do more stuff with our data. So not just DTOs, firewalls, but because we take pictures of night sky all the time and keep all the data. We wanted to give a go at doing astronomy and satellite tracking. So this is what happened last year, I think just over a year ago, August 2017, 2 neutron stars merged, and that's what some physicists have basically been waiting for about 30 years, is detect the signal from that, which comes in as gravitational waves, but also with optical counterparts and gamma rays. So So that's what the LIGO detected, and so they don't have like a great precision locating these things. They're like, sensitive to detect them, but locating them is a bit harder. So obviously, when something like that happens, you want to follow up as quick as possible in the optical. And it turns out the big telescopes were only able to follow up like something like 17 hours afterwards, and obviously didn't catch the beginning of the event. So it's kind of like a timeline of like all different systems that observe that thing. So gravitational wave that lasts I think like 120 seconds or something, right after the gamma ray, and then pretty much like nothing afterwards. There's nothing in all the optical telescopes, and like nobody observed that for like several hours, as I said. So that led to a really big paper, 3,000 authors. And the way we managed to get onto that paper is we're the only optical instrument on Sky at that time. So the event's located here. That goes down to 928, so we didn't have the sensitivity to see it, but at least we put like an upper constraint on how bright it was when it happened, and that was great. So that got us thinking, it's like, can we do astronomy with those cameras? Obviously, probably not with the all-sky lenses, but we wanted to keep kind of like the wide-angle stuff that not many people do. So we like adapted our camera system at the lens, different lens. So that's 85, also operating 105mm lenses at f1.4, and that's kind of the stuff we get. So that's from Fireball and ionization trail. We're not really looking at that, but it's not our main thing we want to do with them, but it's just to show you an example of the images. The images like a lot higher resolution. We also see satellites, so we're like, and we found out the defense in Australia is like really interested in tracking those satellites, and we can do triangulation, so basically apply principles that we use in meteor astronomy to slightly further out and triangulate satellites and get really good resolution on the satellites. Quick overview of systems, so not as wide, but we do like a 5-second cadence and go down to magnitude 14 every 5 seconds. So that's really useful for transient astronomy. I'm really excited about that to work on that over the next few months. The 11 systems is deployed, triangulating various parts of the sky. Next exciting thing that's happening in Australia is Australia decided that it should have its own space agency, which is great. So we kind of jumped on that, signed July 2018, so very recent. So we got 8 engineering students working together and we want to build a CubeSat. And our first target is going to be to observe fireballs from space. So yeah. And I'm going to leave you there with my summary. Global Fireball Laboratory. Then we're going to be transient astronomy with like slightly modifying the systems, and we want to build a CubeSat. Thank you.
Yes.
Congratulations, it's awesome. I told you 2 years ago. I was going to ask you, you told 2 years ago that you might do some photometry to have improved that for the light resolution measurements. And just tell you, the only other system that I know that is optimized for light resolution cost like Topo, right? So I really think could be a good commercial product, and it's competitive.
Are you talking about the radiometer?
No, about the physics.
Okay, yeah.
About the physics.
Well, as I said, like for observing fireballs, really bad fireballs, you get a damning range problem. So you can only really do photometry on about 8 magnitudes, and after that you've saturated or
Yeah, therefore like
close to noise level.
We have time for one more, Jeremy.
Yeah, regarding the HDR thing, do you think we can keep the photography bias?
Yeah, well, if you know the exposure time, you can always like decompose that, and obviously you wouldn't get the same frame rate. You have to trade off the frame rates, but to get this HDR, because obviously every half exposure will be like a slight, very different like exposure time. But I think you can keep the photography as long as you keep the raw data.
So it's more like a hardware question. My question is, it's all amazing, so do we know what the camera is doing? If yes, well,
Oh yeah, you basically tell the camera to do that.
Okay, thank you very much. George's going to tell us about the trip, and then
Yeah.
Tom's going to tell us
It's
about
time for a coffee break, but first we would like to have several announcements. First of all, we have a very nice celebration, and I would like to ask Vladimir Porubchan, who is sitting in the back. Please, Vladimir, come closer to us. Vladimir has several days ago a birthday, and we would like to also apologize to him because we didn't spend too much time last weeks and months. So that is why we would like to invite you and come closer. Vladimir, don't be shy. And Vladimir is our teacher in our Bratislava group, so we would like to give you at least our small present that you can drink with your friends, professors at the university. Good one, right one.
So we have to drink it together.
Yeah. If some of you knows Vladimir Porubchana, Vladimir is only one who is still alive from the famous. Yeah, he.
It's very terrible to hear.
Yeah, I'm sure. But Vladimir was in the group of Dr. Kresak, Dr. Stoll, Professor Hajduk, and Dr. Kritik. And so this is, let's say, our base from which we start to grow up a little bit. Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Sorry, yes, excuse me. Well, we studied before, but I'm the last one.
But this is in continuation. Yeah, and we have another announcement from Tomáš about the excursion.
Okay, so give me please 5 minutes before you go for some cakes and coffee. We will have lunch at 12. At 13 o'clock there will be 3 buses which will stop in front of the main entrance to the hotel. So please be there at about 13:15. I will mention it again. Then we will have a guided tour at the Redstone Castle. We will leave this castle at 5 p.m. and we'll head towards Modra Observatory. Hopefully, because it's quite heavily raining right now outside, as you will see in a minute. Then buses should leave from Observatory to this venue at 7 p.m. Please take your badges with you because they need somehow to identify us at the castle. Rain is expected. Please take umbrella, not consider, take umbrella and raincoat with you. Because before I had the sentence rain possible, but it's not possible, it's reality, so please take it in mind. In case of any problems, you will obtain a map of the excursion in the bus and you will have a number of LOC written in there, so don't be afraid to call us anytime. So this is the main entrance gate to the hotel. We will expect you there at 13:15. Please be there. This is the overall map of our excursion. We will start here in Pezinok, in our hotel. We will head towards Redstone Castle, which is here in Chasta village, above it basically. And then we will get back here to Modra Observatory, which is located over here. Spend an hour or two of with the excursion, and then get back to our hotel at 7:30. So we will not have that sunshine, unfortunately, but anyway, I hope we will enjoy it. We will have you will have this map in your hands when sitting in the bus. So it's about 30-40 minutes trip to Castle, not very long, and then we will have to pass from the parking place where the bus will stop to the castle courtyard, where the guided tour starts, where there's coffee, canteen, swimming toilet, and everything. So we will have to pass about 15 minutes walk at the castle. We will be divided into 3 groups. At this time, we should be there at the castle courtyard. The excursion inside the castle should take about 60 or 70 minutes. It will depend. And buses will depart about 5. And you will have some time, hopefully, to get some souvenirs or refreshments. Then we will head towards the observatory. You will have three, I would say, astronomical sites there. One is our 60-centimeter telescope, then Amos cameras on the meadow here, and the 70-centimeter telescope with a space debris program running. So this is a scientific part. This is a food and beverages part, where you can have a small refreshment like mineral water and some cake. And the toilets are also here, so this will be the place, and buses will stop here. So it's about 100 meters maybe. The buses will leave at 7. You also have a possibility to buy some wine in a wine shop that hopefully will be arranged for you. Okay, but that's not all. In the evening, we will have a conference dinner at 8 when we arrive back from the observatory, and then at 2100 we will be here in this room having a folklore performance taking about 20 minutes, and then we will have a free entertainment in the next room.
And it's
So
real unlimited?
you know, you will live here until morning, so it will be unlimited. Okay, that's all from me. Thank you very much. And